Got one. Oh my gosh. Smoked it. Got him. Oh my gosh, I saw him. Oh my gosh, that was the next cast. Welcome back, everybody. So Berkley has been coming out with quite a few new baits. So I feel like we're going to be fishing Berkley for the foreseeable future. I was thinking the other day, I haven't thrown anything on the swim bait rod and haven't gone to the pike spot yet this year. So we're two birds, one stone sort of deal, and we're going to be fishing with the chop block today. It is, I got the 6-inch, so relatively small for swim bait size, but should be perfect for this cooler water still. We're still in early spring, so haven't gotten into the big swim baits and glide baits and stuff like that yet. So do something kind of in the middle and hopefully it turns out pretty well. But let's crack this thing open and see if we can't get into a couple fish. All right, I don't want to, but we are going to. We have a leader on. I don't really want to leave a bait in a pike's mouth or anything else like that, so probably a little responsible. So we're going to go ahead and leave that on. It'll probably impede action just a little bit, but again, so we have a swivel with a treble hook and a hook hanger tethered to a dual hook that is attached to the bait by a magnet, and a pretty strong one, to be honest. It sticks there pretty darn well, so shouldn't get hung up in the grass very much. Let's go ahead and see what our action looks like. There's a bit of wind out. Okay, so not a super... Oh, you can twitch it real easily. You can chop it real well. Not a fast sink by any means. And what about the glide? So there is a bit of a glide, not a ton. That could be because of our leader though. Maybe if we reel just a little bit faster. There's not a ton of glide. So I think this is going to be much more of a chopping bait. I thought it was supposed to glide, and oh, like you can chop it like super well. But so I think that's probably what we're going to be doing pretty much all of today. It is super windy. I don't know how many bites we're going to go ahead and get, but we're going to start chucking around and see if we can get lucky. Oh my gosh, I missed him twice. I got excited. No, he smoked my line. He tried to headshot it, and that's exactly why we put the leader on. Oh, that was such a big pike. Why? Oh, he actually frayed the leader a little bit. Holy cow. That was such a good pike. That was so neat. I hope that you could see that. The water's so incredibly clear. Make sure you didn't open up my... Nope. I was just thinking, because this thing has phenomenal action when you can get it to work right. And I think that's completely my own fault, because I think it's the fact that we had to add a leader to it. But when it like actually chops, it's crazy cool. I accidentally pulled it from it initially, and then because of that leader it started to sink a little bit. Oh no. And I tried to get it to rise up a little bit so it'd have a better chance of eating it, and kind of pulled it away all in the same motion. Well, they like it. We just got to let them eat it a little bit better. It was right when I had paused the chopping motion, and he came and smoked that. He just smoked it like 4 inches too far up the line. Man, that was neat. That was a good one too. It was probably I bet it was probably like 35, 36. Not a massive one, but a very, very nice one. Let's keep fishing and see if we can't get another one. I didn't notice this initially, but there is a slice right there where that pike got a hold of that bait. So that fish's mouth was that wide, at least. That was a good fish. But I think it goes to show this bait is probably not going to hold up super well against pike. So, I mean, no soft plastic is really going to hold up that well, but we might end up with potentially only one fish before she's kind of torn apart, but let's hope it's a big one if it is. I've been happy with the last one that we just missed. That one, oh my gosh, smoked it. Oh, that's a good bass. That is a good bass. Are we recording? We're recording. Oh my gosh, that is a good bass. That is a good bass. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Smoked him on the chop block. It's not quite as big as I had hoped or thought. Just barely got him. Oh, we got him with 2 hooks. Never mind. We got him good. It was not coming off. Come on now. Sharp hooks on the chop block. I was like, cast in there, 2 twitches. That's like a 2 3/4, probably 3. Probably, yeah, I bet that's 3. Should we weigh him real quick? Let's see how quick we can get a scale out, I guess. Give him don't want to keep him out of the water too long. This isn't quite as big. We'll talk about it in a second. 2 twitches. 296. I was about to say it was like right at a 3. There we go. Nice little fish. Let her go. All right. So the reason I had said that is we were out the other day and had an absolute, well, not a monster, but a very, very nice one smoke this thing. It was probably a 3.5, probably not quite 4, maybe 3 3/4. But we didn't get it on video. So I'll go ahead and show the aftermath after this. But great start. This is day 3 of us fishing with this guy. Every time we've come out, we've had at least a bite. The first day we did not catch a fish. We had a big old pike try to attack this thing, and we got a bunch of gashes in it. Can't even find them now, but they're in here somewhere. But we didn't get that fish. So 2 bass. I'll again run the video of the aftermath of us catching a fish the other day. But I am loving this thing, and it is catching only plus size fish, and this is only the 6-inch version of it. That time our hook did come dislodged from the bait, which is good. It reduces the amount of, or I guess the ability for it to go ahead and throw that bait, but I don't know why she won't go in right now. Maybe we bent it a little bit, but there we go. Super sharp hooks. Love this thing. I was concerned throwing this on a leader because I think it just kind of kills the action for the most part. It actually does a pretty good job if you're chopping it quickly. So if you've got an area with a bunch of pike and stuff like that, don't be too worried. You just have to move it a little bit faster. If the fish aren't super aggressive, not the best idea, but I didn't want to lose this bait to a pike because inevitably there's going to be one that tries to headshot at some point in time. So I didn't want to lose the bait and lose it inside of a fish. So we're trying to do the responsible thing with this. But if you don't have a leader on, you can chop this thing super slowly, and it does phenomenal. Those are the 3 ways I've kind of been reeling it or retrieving it: is a quick chop, just consistently all the way through, a slow chop, and that was what we caught the bass on the other day, was just a slow chop, giving it a little pause. And then the other one is a fast chop, and then kind of like just let it drift, look like it's injured. And all 3 of those have been working. But let's go ahead. It's early, so let's see if we can get another one. But now I'll roll the other day of the big fish that we caught. I cannot believe it, but I ended up catching a 3.5 pounder and none of it on video right before the storm. That is absolutely ridiculous. Right on the chop block. That's ridiculous. But I don't know that we're gonna be able to fish much more than a couple minutes before this storm comes through. Let's get this fish and release her. We got one on it. Unfortunately, we didn't get it on video, as ridiculous as that is. There you go. Felt a little tap. Thought I was hung up for a second. Set the hook and she was just on there. How disappointing. Put that guy back in there. Attach there. So actually the first hook hanger didn't actually come loose. It stayed on there, but we hooked her with multiple of the points, and then the back one got her also. So she was not coming off in the least. I thought we'd end up with some pike or something like that. Big old bass, not on video. That's absolutely disappointing. Oh, right before this storm too. We'll fish for another, I don't know, 30 seconds. I don't think we're gonna get another bite before we start getting absolutely dumped on. That was so neat. I wish we had gotten it on video, but just little twitches, barely going side to side. You don't need very much rod tip to get this thing to move, that's for sure, even with us using a leader on there. The leader unfortunately does drag it down, so you're not getting the action you probably want. But as soon as we get one pike, it's inevitably gonna break her off. So I'd rather fish with a leader and hope to keep the bait and maybe catch a couple fish on it. But we'll fish for another little bit. I'm still so disappointed that was not on video. That was so fun. Oh my gosh, I saw him. Oh, that's a, oh my gosh. Oh, that's a big bass. Oh, not a big one. I thought it was a pike initially. Hey, that's not even a big one. That's like a 2.5 pounder. Make sure we're recording again. I couldn't stand it because I couldn't get a bite to save my life with the leader, so I did take it off, and good gracious, is the difference of action insane. You can almost pause this thing in the water column when you don't have that leader on. So I would, if you have the opportunity not to, if you don't have a bunch of dogfish, pike, whatever, I would most certainly recommend not using a leader. The action is crazy, so much better, which makes sense, but like I didn't think it'd be that much of a change. Again, we got all the hooks in there. When I first saw that bite, yeah, it's a 2.5. When I first saw that bite, I thought for sure it was a pike because of how quick it moved. But glad it was a bass. I was worried that we might be losing our bait, but let's go ahead and get this fish down the water. Let her go. This will unfortunately be as close as we can get because it's kind of a cliff after this, but let her go. And she's off. That might be the last fish of this video. We'll see how much better we can do, but if you can fish without a leader, I would most certainly recommend it. It's crazy. You can twitch it so easily, and I mean, you can almost turn it on 180s just back and forth, barely moving it, almost like you can with a frog. I love that thing. I would just wish all of our lakes didn't have tons of pike in them to worry about either losing it or having to use a leader. But let's see if we can get another one. Oh my gosh, that was the next cast, and that is a pike. Oh gosh. Just, we fished this whole area for like 40 minutes with a leader, nothing. And then 2 casts back to back. We have a bass and a pike. Oh. There we go. And he didn't get the head. So, oh my gosh. It's not a monster. Oh gosh, don't hook me. I know those hooks are sharp. All right, we'll get him unhooked and let him go. This is crazy. Don't ever use a leader if you can. Avoid it. I think we got lucky with that one. But he absolutely smoked it. It was just again, that slow paw is almost in place, and it just, both of them, seeing them in the clear water is so much fun. I don't know if you guys can see it on video, but we'll get him unhooked and let him go. All right, probably a 24, 25. Let him go. Oh, there he's off. Went vertical for a second. All right, let's take a look at our bait. Because I'm interested to see how many fish. So we've caught one, or we had one pike bite on this already. We missed that one. That was the first day, and that was the first cut of that. The rest of it actually looks pretty solid. We didn't lose anything. The tether's still there. Dude. He didn't get any fray. We'll still cut and retie, but he didn't get any fray. Tether looks fine. I don't know what kind of pound test they use for this thing, but I guess something to note. Obviously, if it starts getting frayed, you might just want to cut it off or potentially retie it if you have the ability to go ahead and do that. But this is awesome. Chop block. I love it so much more now that I'm not throwing it on a leader. It worked with a leader, but it works so much better without one. This is awesome. Oh, I watched one come up and eat it. I think it was a pike, and I think, oh gosh, I think it was a pike, and I think he headshot it, but he like was just so small. He grabbed it by the head. No, we don't have any fray, but he grabbed it by the head and then just started swimming with it. I was hoping that like the back hook would catch him or something like that. He didn't have it all in his mouth. That's hilarious. I'll have to see if you can see that on camera. All right, that is it for the chop block. I absolutely love this thing. So before using it with the leader, I probably would have said it was like a 6.5. It clearly works, but there's some, it didn't have the greatest action. You take that leader off, which I'm sure 99% of people won't have a leader. This thing is crazy. It takes almost no rod action to go ahead and get that thing to chop. I'm by no means a good swim bait fisherman, and it was pretty easy for me. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. Whether you want it to be a fast chop or a slow chop, basically that bait almost staying in place but doing like 180s, and that's what we got both of those fish on today. And obviously when you throw on a leader, it's going to make it dive a little bit faster. It's going to straighten out that action, so having that 180 is not going to be as easy to produce. But phenomenal bait, love it a lot. It's not too big. They have a number of different sizes. The 6-inch was not too big for many fish at all. We caught a 2.5 pounder, but one thing, we didn't catch anything small. They were all decent sized fish. So 6-inch was probably a perfect size unless you have like decent sized fish in your lakes. You might want to go up, but this is a really solid size for pretty much everything, and you don't need any special tackle necessarily to throw it. Beyond that, we had 2 pike bite this thing, and it still looks almost in pristine condition. We do have a little slash right there, but besides that, perfectly fine. As far as the tether, it doesn't look frayed at all, which was another concern of mine with pike, but this thing works crazy well. I'll go ahead and drop the link probably in the beginning of the video if you guys want to go ahead and look at them and pick some up. But this thing's awesome, super fun to throw. But as always, if you guys like the video, if you wouldn't mind liking, and if you want to see more videos like it, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be greatly appreciated also. Until next one.